Alright, I think we're ready. Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's webinar. My name is Anders Odevik, and I work here at support at magplus in Stockholm, Sweden. First of all, I want to tell you guys that you can change the quality. If you're watching this on a computer, you can change the quality in the bottom right corner in the live stream paler. I recommend to choose high to get the best resolution possible. Anyway, this week's webinar is called magplus for dummies, alternatively creating iPad apps for dummies. Meaning for you who have never used InDesign before and want to try it out with our plugin, so you can start playing around in InDesign and review what you're doing on your iPad, Kindle Fire or Android tablet. So I'll try to go as slow as possible and also explain some of the tools that I'm mainly using in InDesign when I'm creating. So this is going to be really basic. You guys who saw my webinar about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, will recognize a lot of stuff that I go through today, but that might also be good for you if you feel you really don't have the hang of it yet. For you who have never seen magplus apps in action before, I recommend going to magplus.com/clients. There you will be able to see other publications that are using magplus, and there are also links there to their apps in the App Store. So you can download them and see what you actually can do with our product. But let's start off with this webinar. Today I'll go through the magplus process, and then I'll go through how to create your first vertical in InDesign, and I'll also explain what a vertical is. And then after this I will show you how to export this vertical to the magplus production tool, and then in the end create a MIB file, which is sort of your final issue that you can then publish in an app. Anyway, this is the magplus process. First, you will start by downloading our free tools from magplus.com. After installation, you will have installed the magplus InDesign plugin and the magplus production tool. You will also install the free magplus reviewer app from the App Store, Google Play or Amazon to your tablet. With the InDesign plugin, you will be able to create what we refer to as verticals. And just to make it clear, this is what we refer to when we talk about verticals. One InDesign document represents one vertical, and this is a screenshot from the Pages palette in InDesign. I'm going to explain a bit around this more later, but as you can see that this is one InDesign document, and I can add pages in that InDesign document. And when I add pages to that InDesign document, I'm actually extending the size of the vertical. So in the end, I will actually have something looking like this. I will have several verticals lined up next to each other, and each vertical will contain a different amount of pages. So you have here document 1 with 2 pages, for example, and document 2, a vertical, and then you will have 3 pages in that InDesign document, and so forth. You will have document 3 with 1 page in that InDesign document. And all throughout this process, you will be able to review what you're doing on the magplus reviewer app. And you can see it on your iPad, Android tablet or Kindle Fire. And you can push instantly to your magplus reviewer app on your device, and you will see what you've done. Then when you're done with the vertical in InDesign, you will export it to the production tool. This is where you lay out the verticals next to each other. And this allows the user, here's a screenshot from the production tool where I have several verticals next to each other, and here is where you put your issue together, so you allow scrolling horizontally, not just vertically. as in the verticals you made in InDesign. In the end, when you're done, you will be able to bundle all your verticals together into an issue, which we like to call a MIB file. And this MIB file contains all your verticals and basically your whole issue. This MIB file can then be sent to your clients or coworkers, and they will be able to review what you're doing, what you have done, and they can show it on their iPad, Kindle Fire, or Android using the magplus Review app. And they can send you feedback, and you can go back and do the changes in InDesign and update the MIB file, and then send them the updated file. And when you're happy with the design, you can decide that you want to publish what you have done in an actual app. And you can build apps for the App Store, Google Play, and soon to come Amazon for Kindle Fire. There are two kinds of apps that you can build with magplus. First, we have the Go option, which is an app that only contains one MIB file, meaning one issue. This is sort of like a book, for example. This option costs $199, and you yourself decide how you want the app to look. For example, icons, starting screen image, etc. All the graphics in the app. There won't be any magplus logos in there. It's your own branded app. And the second option is the Grow option. This option is mostly used by magazines, as it allows you to publish several issues within the app, and you have your own in-app store and library. Examples of Grow apps would be, for example, PopSci or Outside that have monthly publications. This option costs $2,500. So let's get on starting creating our first vertical. So we get out of the Keynote. Before we start, we probably need to, for you who haven't installed InDesign yet, you can do that by just Google InDesign, InDesign trial, and the first link you'll find will be a link to where you can download the free trial version of InDesign. It's a trial version that you can try out for 30 days, and if you're happy with the result, you can extend this subscription to InDesign. You can purchase it or sign up for a subscription. And while you're at it, you can also download a Photoshop trial, as this will be used, can be used by the plugin when you resize the images to fit the device. It's not needed, but it gives a better result when you're resizing the images. So you can just Google for Photoshop trial. And it's very easy to install InDesign and Photoshop. And after you have done that, you will need to go to our website to install our tools, which is the plugin which you will use for InDesign and also the production tool. Just go to magplus.com and you have the link here, download for free. And make sure that you select the correct version for your version of InDesign, that you select the correct version of the plugin for your version of InDesign. For example, if you downloaded the trial just now, you need to download the plugin for version CS6. But our plugin works for CS4 up to CS6 at the moment. And when you have downloaded the plugin, just follow the instructions on our website and you're done. After installation, you will be able to find your plugin here right under application. The plugin will install itself in your InDesign folder, and you will also get a magplus folder under applications here. And inside this magplus folder, first of all, you can start off by double-clicking the magprod.r. This basically installs magplus production tool on your computer. And you also have the magplus. You have some examples here, but you also have the magplus templates. These templates are used when you create for your device. So I'm going to go here, go into iPad, and I'm going to select, because I mainly work on CS 5.5, so I'm going to go in here and select iPad and then select magplus template for CS 5.5. And then I'm selecting to open it in Adobe InDesign. This is the template that you always use when you start a new production. You have other templates here as well. You have a help template, which basically contains our help issue that is comes with the app that you can design yourself, but we have made sort of like a template for you with all the instructions that needs to be in there. And we also have a TOC template, meaning a table of content that you can use as well. But when you start a new project, you always start with the magplus template, and this is what we're doing now. So now we're going to create our first vertical. I'm going to click Update Links. So here I'm going to go and select the zoom tool here. Zoom out like that. And here is the magplus template. And let's not mind this at the moment. What you need, if you have never used InDesign before, you need to get a basic overview of it. Here on the left side, you will have a couple of tools that you can use. You have, for example, the selection tool, which you use a lot. Clicks to select that more easily. You can just click V on your keyboard, and it goes to that automatically. And here you can see that we have a type tool. We have some rectangle frame tools and a rectangle tool, and all of these tools. I'm gonna go and use, I think I'm mainly going to use the selection tool, the type tool, and the rectangle frame tool. That's basically what you need to use in order to create a basic design here in InDesign. What's here on the side, you can see that we have some other palettes here. We have pages and layers. And layers is probably the most important palette in InDesign when you're working with magplus. If you can't find it in your layers here, just go to Window up here, up at the very top, and you will be able to select layers here. Basically, if you can't find a palette that you need, you can always go to Window and look for it here, and you will be able to find it. And if you're not able to find it, just go here to Help, and let's go. You can search for layers, and here you can see it shows you where it's where you can find it. Anyway, here is my layers palette. And as I said, I'm just going to drag this out here to make it easier to show, and close this one. As I said, the layers, when you work with the plugin, is really important. Actually, I think that yeah, sure. You have several layers here, and let's stack some objects here. Here I've selected this main content layer, B-Slides main content, and I selected the rectangle frame tool here. And as you can see, I'm now located on this layer here, and I'm drawing this box here, like this. And as you can see, it's transparent, and I probably want to fill it with a color. So then I'll simply go to, and I need my swatches palette for that, to fill it with color. So I go up here to Window, and I'll go down to Color, and here you can see that I find swatches. And if you can't find it, just search for it under Help, and they will point it out to you. Anyway, here you can see that I have two choices. I have stroke and fill. I can switch between these two objects here. And if I choose stroke to be on top, then I will change the color of the stroke around the object. So I'll select, for example, black here in this example. You can't see it now, but here up here you can change the stroke width, and you can see that it grows, the stroke. And then I can go here and select the fill instead, and then fill it with red color. So now I have a red box here on the B slide's main content. And then let's say that I want to place an other object on my other layer. I just go here and select it, and then simply fill it with a fill color here, select it, and I make it green. And as you can see, it stacks on top of the red box. That's because it's located on a layer above the layer where the red box is located. And let's say I want to have this on the same layer. I can select the object with the selection tool here, then go out here and select the green box, and then I can drag. You can see that I get a little purple dot here on the layer, and I can drag this purple dot down to the layer where I placed my red box. And as you can see now, when I select this green box, it's now located on the B slide's main content instead. And then you will see that I have this other red box. Maybe I want to locate my red box, I want it to be on top of the green box. So what I'll do is I'll select the green box, red box, and then I'll go and do a right click, and then select arrange and bring to front. And now it will be arranged at the very front of these two. And I can say that, no, I want to move you back instead. I can go and right click and send to back. And we'll end up on back. So that's just a short explanation of how you can work with layers. I'm going to go into a little bit more depth into how you will be able to use it with our plugin. But first, we need to connect the iPad to the computer in order to be able to review what we're doing in InDesign on your iPad. So what I'll do is that I'll go up here in InDesign, I'll go to Window, and here you can see when you have installed the plugin, if you're not able to find it and you know you have installed it, just restart InDesign and you will be able to find it. Here we go. And here we have the plugin. First of all, as I said, we want to set up the computer, so the computer is connected to the iPad. So what I'll do is that I go here to Settings, and as you can see here, I have a push review to device. And if this is where I connect the computer to the iPad. So what I'll do is that I'll click the plus sign right next to it, and here it says enter iPad push address, and it asks for a host and a port. And in order to find this address, I need to start the app on my iPad. So this is the iOS simulator that I've installed the magplus reviewer app on. If you have a Mac and you don't have a real iPad, you can always download the magplus reviewer app from our website that you can install on the iOS simulator. Just go to support.magplus.com and search for iOS simulator magplus reviewer app, and you will be able to find it with all the instructions that you need. And it only works on Mac, unfortunately. Anyway, we need to find the host address. So I'll start the app on my iPad or Kindle Fire or Android, and then I'll go up to User Settings. Here I log in using the magplus credentials that I used when I signed up for the tools, when I downloaded the free tools from our website, and I just log in. as you can see, I'm already logged in, so I'm not gonna go do that again. And then when you have done that, you will be able to find your push service address here under help. And as you can see here, it says 192.168.1.91:50,000. So I have my host here, which was 192.168.1.91. 50,000, it's my port. So I'll go in here and enter this here. Host 192.168. Oh, I'm not. 192.168.1. Was it 91? Let's go back and check. Yeah, 91. And the port was 50,000. So I just click OK here. And just in order to make sure that the iPad and InDesign are connected properly, I just go here and click vertical again in the vertical tab and click fast review. Oh, it says document must be saved before review is possible. So this is because I'm using a template, and by default it's set that you need to save your own copy of the template before making so you need to save it so you don't overwrite the template. So I have a folder here for InDesign documents, and I'll save it as vertical 1. I'll call this one. And now I'll click fast review again. Let's see what happens. And as you can see here, I'm getting a white totally blank page on my iPad, and I can bring up the scrubber and menu. I do this by clicking short tap or doing a long tap to bring up the menu and close the menu. This is what we refer to as the scrubber. Is where you have all your verticals lined up then when you have your issue ready. Anyway, now we know that the iPad and the computer, that they are connected to each other. If you're not able to connect the iPad to your computer, make sure that the iPad and computer are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. That is the most common mistake that people make. The iPad and the computer needs to be connected to the same network in order to review instantly. So now we know that they are connected. So let's go and start creating something. As I mentioned before, I showed you how to move things around the layers and how they are stacked on top of each other and so forth. So the layers that you get in the template here, they are here by default, and each layer has its own settings, so to speak. Objects placed on these layers can have different settings and act differently. First, we have the B slides main content layer. We can start off by explaining that layer. First, I'll go and select the B slides main content here. Make sure I have it selected, and I want to place an image here. So I go up to File and click Place. You can always use Command D in order to place an image. And I click Place, and here I have a Photos folder here that I can use for this. Let's say I want to use this one. And as you can see here, the photo is showing up a little bit transparent, and when I hold down the left, when I do a left click and hold down, you'll see that I'm able to drag out the image like this, and I'll place it here. So now I've placed an image on my B slides main content layer. What's special about this layer is that content placed on this layer are static. It means that they won't move when the iPad is rotated. So here I have some templates here for the iPad in portrait and the iPad in landscape. You can show them by clicking right next to them, and you will see that an eye appears. And you can hide them by clicking on the eye again. It toggles visibility. Anyway, here you can see that I have the iPad in rotate. And here I can see what part of the image will be shown when the iPad is held in rotate. And as you can see, it cuts off just here by the foot. And when the iPad is held in landscape, it cuts off a little bit higher up, but it also shows a little bit more on the side. So you basically have, when I have both my templates activated here, portrait and landscape, you'll see I have a safe area here that will always be shown. So if I go here and do a fast review, let's see here what happens. See, it updated, and as you can see in portrait it cuts off here, and when I rotate the iPad it actually cuts off a little bit higher, but it also shows some more on the side. So now I have my main background ready, and as you can see I have a safe area here that's always shown. Now I have my main background ready, but let's say I want to be able to, maybe I want to put a heading in there. And I want the heading to move with the iPad. So that's when I start to use B-Slide's pin blocks layer. You have B-Slide's main content, and you have BP pop-up main content, and then you have B-Slide's pin blocks. The pop-up layers here that you can see, you have BP, BP, and AP. That's used for pop-ups, and I'm not going to go through this webinar, but you can always go and watch some old webinars and find out how to use the pop-ups. It's really easy, and you can do some amazing stuff with it. Anyway, I'm going to use the B-Slides pinned blocks layer here for this one. It's the third layer from the bottom. And objects placed on this layer can actually move with the iPad when you make some settings in the plugin. So what I'll do is that I want a heading for this one. So I go here and I'll go and put in, I clicked on the type tool, and then I can drag out a rectangle where I want to place my text in, and then I simply just enter the text. So I go magplus for beginners. This is the heading for this vertical, like that. And you saw that I clicked the selection tool, and as you can see, the type object is still selected. I can go here and click on character. If you're not able to find it, just go up to window and click type and tables, and you will be able to show the character palette. Here you can go in and change the size and also change the font for this block. I want it to be Helvetica. Not very nice, but just to show you guys how it works. So here I have my heading, and let's not do any settings to start off with. So I'll just go here. I have it placed on B-Slides pin blocks, and I'll do a fast review again. And as you can see, here you can see the heading when I hold the iPad in portrait. But once I rotate the iPad, you can see that the heading is hidden. It doesn't move with the iPad. So that's when I start to use pinning. So first I'll bring up my portrait template here, and I simply go and zoom in to explain for you guys. And what I want to do now is that I select the text that I wrote, and as you can see here, I get a lot of settings that I can make for this specific object. You can make different settings for each specific object in your design. But now I selected the text here, and in the magplus plugin you can see I have horizontal pinning and vertical pinning. So let's start off with the vertical pinning. You have top and bottom. This means that if I select top here, this means that the object will keep the distance to the top of the iPad when it's rotated. So this will actually go downwards when I rotate the iPad, just like that. So I'll move it up here again to the very top when the iPad is held in portrait, and it will keep this distance when the iPad is rotated. I'll do a fast review again. As you can see here, I have my heading here, and once I rotate the iPad now, you'll see that it moves down with the iPad, like that. But let's say, as you can see when I rotate, that I want the heading to actually move to the left when I rotate the iPad. That's when I use horizontal pinning. So still with the object, text object selected, I go here into horizontal pin left. You can choose right as well, but I'll go with left for this one, and I'll do a fast review. Here I have the iPad in portrait, and now when I rotate, you can see that it actually moves down to go to the left. I can set this to move to keep the distance to the right as well. It is horizontal pinning right. And as you can see, you already saw it, when I rotate the iPad, it actually keeps the same distance to the right edge of the iPad when I rotated this one. But for this one, I think I'll go with left. And do a fast review again. And so, yeah. So that's our heading. And the next layer that we will use is the A layer. This is the scrollable layer for your app and for your vertical. And basically, you can see that a main tower for inline body content. That's the layer I'm using now. It's the 5th layer from the bottom. And objects placed on this layer are special in the way that they actually are scrollable, as mentioned. So what I'll do is that I'll make sure I'm on the A main tower layer, and I'll go here and select the type tool, and I'm gonna actually make a text box this big, this long. And as you can see, it doesn't have any text in here, and I don't have any good text to put in. So actually just go here and make sure the text box is selected. I go up here to type, and then I go down to fill with placeholder text. And as you can see, it filled the text box with a lorem ipsum text. This is very good for when you're making mock-ups. Sorry, when you're making mock-ups, and you can always use the lorem ipsum text to fill your text boxes. And as I said, it's special, this layer, because content placed on it will be scrollable. This means that when the user will be able to scroll the text up like this. So I have my text here now. I'll place it and do a fast review. And now you can barely see the text here, and I'm able to actually move the text upwards like this and downwards. I'm going to show you this later, by the way. Here, so let's go back to InDesign. It didn't look that good because you could barely read the text. So what I'll do is that I'll go here in InDesign and select the rectangle frame tool. This tool I use a lot to create boxes and shapes I like to use it because its default setting is to be totally empty. As you can see, it's transparent, but I want it to be white. So I go here to my swatches. Sorry, I close swatches again. Color, swatches. Actually, gonna save it there. Swatches, and I'll make sure that it's white. Drag it out like this. And as you can see, it actually covered the text. So that's when I use the arrange that I showed you before. I select the white box and I go and right click and go click arrange and then send to back. And because these objects are both located, both the text and the white box are located on the same layer, the arrangement won't do anything to the other objects. It will end up, because it's located on this layer, will still end up on top of this photo here. And once I have my white background behind the text, I'll actually go here with the selection tool and drag out to make sure I selected both the objects and I group them. So you can right click on both the objects selected and then click group. You can also do a command G, which I will use from now. So group, and let's do a fast review now to see what we have. As you can see, it's much easier now to read the text, and yeah. And what I was saying before is that you can actually deactivate the A layer by double tapping. So when the reader scrolls through your vertical and wants to see the background, he or she can always do a double tap to get rid of the text on the A layer. And a trick that a lot of people are using is that they put a little bit of transparency of the white block behind the text. This is just a very basic, and most people are using this. So let's ungroup. I'll select the object and then ungroup. When I group the object, it means that, let's group them again. It means that when you select the object, both the objects are selected at once, and they're sort of grouped together. And you can ungroup them by right clicking, and then you have ungroup. And that's because I want to edit this white block that I had here. I want to put a little bit of opacity on it. And up here you will be able to change the opacity. I'll change it to 80%. And then I'll select both the objects again and group them and do a fast preview. That's a very easy way to get a simple effect. As you can see, I don't know if you can see this with the resolution, but it's a little bit transparent, but it still is possible to read the text. And here in this, you can see that when I rotate the device, the text stays in the same place. I can actually use pinning on the A layer as well. So I want this one to keep the distance to the right corner. So I want it to move to the right when it's rotated. So I'll have something like this instead. Here I have the text here, and when I rotate the iPad, it actually moves out to the right. Like that. And I can still deactivate it. And I've been using the selection tool a lot to play around with the sizes of the boxes. And as you surely know, just go here and just change the size of the boxes like this. And I think our first page in this vertical is actually done now. So I want to make the vertical longer now. As you can see, when I get to the end of the A layer on the first page, nothing more happens. I can't get any further. I want it to switch to a second background when the A layer ends. So that's when I use the Pages palette. If you can't find it, you just find it under Window or search for it. Here's your Pages palette. And I can zoom out a little bit more here. As you can see, in this document I only have one page right now. But I want to add some more pages. I want to add one more page in this vertical. So what I'll do is that I have this page selected, and down here at the bottom you will be able to select Create New Page. And as you can see, a new page was created for me. And now I'm gonna, just to show you what happens, here I have my second page. I'll make sure to select it. I'm on my second page now. I'll hide I go back to layers. I seem to close. Here I'll close the pages. Now we know we're on the second page in my InDesign document, and this will extend the size of my vertical. I'll hide the iPad template, and then I'll simply go and place an image. You can go to File, or you can go simply Command D, and we need to select a second background image, and I want to use this one. I'll drag it out like this, and this is something that is really good to know when you're placing images. With the selection tool, you are able to change the size of the photo that you put in. Just simply go here, selection tool, and as I showed you before, you can change the sizes. And InDesign is sort of special in its way, because if you just do it normally, it will crop the image like this. And then you can see that if you double click on the image, you will be able to move it around in the box that you created, like that. And you can resize the image like that. And let's say I want to resize the whole image. Then I hold down Command and Shift at the same time, and then pull the edge here. You will see that the whole image grows. And I wanted to cover the whole iPad now. And well, it's placed on my B-Slides main content layer, and let's see what happens. It's a little bit slow. Here I have my first page in my vertical, and I have my A layer here. I'm able to disable and scroll up, and once this A layer on my first page goes past the center of the iPad, it will actually switch over to the second page in my InDesign document, in my vertical. So I can, as you can see, it switches over like that. So that's the logic behind the vertical. And this means that you can actually place objects on the B-Slides pin blocks again if you want to. And I actually want to have a continuous text on the second page. So let's say, let's go back to page 1, because this text was pretty long. And I'll go here and ungroup the object, and I select the text block, and I'll make the text block smaller just by using the selection tool and drag it upwards. And then I'll also make my box behind it smaller. And as you can see, when I did this, I created a small plus sign here. So I'll group these objects together again, and then here you can see that when I double tap the text box here, if I click plus, I get a small segment of text that I can place somewhere else. This is the text that is continued from the text block I had before. So as you can see here, it's the symbol for this text continues from somewhere else, basically. So now I have my text here on my second page instead, and I make sure that I put it on the A layer here. Do like that. A layer. So locate it on later, and I'll put in a white box behind this one as well. I'll go here to swatches, make the fill color white, and arrange it send to back, and I'll group. First I probably want to put in some opacity just to, I don't remember the opacity of the other white box, but I put it 80 and group it again. And this is what happens now. So now I have the text continuing on the second page in my vertical. And as you can see, it's creating some images here. And here you'll see that the text from the second page actually shows up here already. And it switches over to the second page in your vertical. So this means that I can actually, as you can see, the distance here is the same as the distance here. This means that I can have a continuous block of text going like this. Let's see if I place it up there and I do a fast, I place it at the very top of my page in my second page, and we will see what happens. As you can see, the text blocks are now connected. I didn't do a very good job because you can see that it is a new page here, but you can actually, if you go into detail, you can go and make sure that it is not possible that is a new page that the text is placed on. And as you can see, when I disable, I'm disabling both the layers, both the objects. And another good effect that you can use is actually here in the plugin for this vertical. I'm going to use knockback for this one. And this means that I'm going to set it knockback here in white and put it at, let's say, 40%. This means that when the A layer is scrolled, the background will be knocked back by a white color in a nice way. It's really, so as you can see here, when I scroll upwards, you can see that the background is getting a little bit white. And when I disable, you can see the background as normal. Get its normal color back. So that's just a simple effect that you can use. You can always go in and do your own effects that you wish with the different shapes and all that. You will see it in some of the other magplus apps out there, what you actually can do. So now I would say that we have our first vertical ready, and we're ready to export it to the production tool. So first I'll make sure that I'm using the correct device. I'm using Apple iPad. It's really important that when you are reviewing that you choose the correct device. You cannot review what you're doing if you select Apple iPad Retina and you use it on an iPad 1 or 2, because the images created for the iPad Retina is of much higher resolution than what it is for iPad, and the iPad won't be able to show the images. So if you're creating for an iPad 1 or 2, go with the device Apple iPad. If you're creating for an Apple Retina, choose device Apple Retina. And we'll soon release multiple export, which gives you the possibility to export at several devices at once. Anyway, next you have the issue here. This is where I select the folder that I want to export to, export my vertical to. So I go here to my webinar folder I created just for this specific webinar, and I create a new folder here. I call it magazine name, for example. This is the name of your magazine. And inside that magazine name folder, I'll create an issue folder. I'll call it issue 01. This is where I'll export all my verticals that I have for this issue. So I create this folder here, and I choose the folder that I selected inside the magazine name. And then next you have the minimum MIB version. And we have several MIB versions here. And the latest MIB version contains the most features, all the features. And we always recommend to go with the latest version of the MIB when you're creating. Just make sure that the app that you're going to place it in is of the correct MIB version for what you have created. ID, and this is how you identify this vertical, you yourself, in your system. So simply enter something. I will enter vertical 1 for this ID. And name, this name is shown in the scrubber and when the user makes a bookmark. So I go here, and here in the scrubber you will see background 1, and this was called background 1. And also if I make a bookmark here, and the user can make a bookmark by tapping the top right corner, and if I bring up the menu and click bookmark, you will see that it shows the name of this vertical here again. And I probably want the name to be magplus for beginners. This is what I want the users to see. And for now, I can also choose orientation. Right now it's set to auto, which means that it can be shown in both portrait and landscape. You can also lock this specific vertical in portrait or landscape, and the user will get a symbol to rotate their device when they reach this vertical. But I want this vertical to be shown in both locations, so I'll leave it at auto. And then when I'm done, I'll simply go and click export. Now what it's doing, it's right now it's opening Photoshop in order to review, to create the images for the iPad. So you can see that it's writing JPEG, and it's doing a lot of stuff with Photoshop to make them the correct size for the device that you've chosen. It's taking a little while here, and now it's ready. So now we can go and open the magplus production tool. As I said, if you haven't installed it, you can just go here to your magplus folder in applications, and you will be able to find the magprod.3.2r. Just double click that and install the production tool. If you're not able to install it, make sure you have Adobe Air installed, and that should do it. And I have production tool here ready. You can start it from here. First of all, I want to create my brand settings. So I'll go here, up at the very top, I'll select File, and then Open Brand Settings Editor. And I click New. And then I click Brand ID. This is the identifier for your specific brand for this magazine that you're creating. This will be used by our system to keep track of your specific MIB file if you ever want to publish it on our building an app. This identifier will be used. So for this example, I'll use SE as in Sweden, and then I'll put in Anders demo. And brand description, just a description of this brand, so you yourself can keep track of it. I'll call it Anders demo. And default MIB version, I'll go and select 3.2. And then I simply click save. And now I need to select where I want to store my magplus.mags file. So I go to the webinar folder that I have already, and then I select the magazine folder, as this is specific for my magazine that I'm creating. So I store it above the issue folder here in the magazine folder. And then I've saved it and I just click close. Next thing, now in production tool, I'm back here at magplus production tab selected. In production tool, right next to issue, I click the plus sign. Now I need to select the folder that I selected to export to in InDesign. I need to select the same folder to import to from in the production tool, so I can gather the verticals. And I selected the issue folder to export to in InDesign, and I select the exact same folder now. And as you can see, my vertical shows up here, and I'm able to drag it out to the clipboard from the clipboard here. And it asks for my brand. I'll put in Anders Demo, selected from the drop-down list, and I put in an issue ID. I'll make it issue 01. And as you can see, I'm getting a GUID here, an identifier for my MIB file. This is only going to be used if you ever want to publish the app. Anyway, here I have my vertical now, and you can see that I have several choices here. Make sure that you have push selected, and I have several choices here to review this vertical, but it wouldn't make much sense to review it now from the production tool, as it only contains one issue or one vertical. So what I'll do, the last thing I'll do, is that I create a vertical, another vertical containing a link and a movie, and then I export it here so we can review them together from the production tool. So first I need to go and start a new vertical project. So I go here to magplus folder, magplus templates, iPad, and then I select the same template that I used before, and I select to open it in InDesign 5.5. Update the links, and let's go here. I'll place a main background image here, like that. I want this to be my main background. And let's say I want to have a link on this page. So what I'll do is that I'll probably want the link, the user to tap on an object that I have on the pin blocks layer. So I'll go here, I'll put in a text box, put in link. I go here to my character, and I select it again to be, say I want it to be Helvetica again, and bold, and then make the size a little bit bigger like that. There we go. So now I have my object here on the B pin blocks layer, and here when I select the object now, you will see that I get several choices here in the plugin. And what I'll do is that simply click link. If you're not able to find it, resize the size of your plugin, and you should find it. Anyway, when I click the link button, you can see that a new layer was created for me called C, clickable areas. This layer is used for putting hotspots, meaning areas that the user will be able to tap in order to activate a link or a movie or audio or media, any kind of media. And so I have my clickable area here that was created, and I selected, and in the plugin you will see that it's object type hotspot, that's correct, hotspot type, it's a link. That it is correct, as I want it to be a regular web link. And reference object ID, it says B4752. And that means that it's actually referencing to an object, meaning this object, B4752. This means that this clickable area will follow the movements of this object, meaning you can say that it's anchored in the link object here, because I want the user to be able to tap no matter how this link object is moving around. So that's what it means, referencing object ID. Usually if your link doesn't work, make sure that the reference object ID exists, because when you group objects and so forth, they lose their ID that was given to them, and you can put in your own ID for the link as well, and make sure the object actually exists, the object ID that you created. The next option is the display in. You can select to be displayed in embedded or external. Embedded means that it's going to show in a pop-up window, an embedded window, and external means that it will show up in a Safari. It will switch over directly to Safari when the link is clicked. And URL, just enter the URL for your link. I'll put in http://www.magplus.com for this one. External icon, I wanted to show. You can also decide to hide it. I'm going to show you what this means in a second. I need to save the object, the document. So I'll go here and save it before I review. Vertical 2. And do a fast review again. Wait for it to upload. There we go. I have my link here now. And I select it. When I click it now, I'll show up an embedded link. And as you can see, when I rotate the device, the size of this embedded window is changed. And here is my external icon that I decided I want to show. This means that the user can actually jump out, open it in the browser, in the Safari browser. But I don't want to do that now. So that's how you create a link. It's very simple. You can create as many links as you like on a vertical or in your issue. And the very last thing I'm going to show you is how to put in a movie in this design. So I'll select the B-slice pin blocks layer. And what I'll do is that I'll create another box here, and I'll enter movie in this one instead. And I can, if I hide the clickable areas layer, I can select that and then go and select the eyedropper tool. And then hold this eyedropper tool on top of the link, and you will see that it actually is in the same font and size as the link. And I'll make sure the link size layer is shown. And now I'll select the movie, and exactly as I did with the link, I can now just simply click a button here called movie, and I'll zoom out because it's zoomed in. And as you can see now, I got a new layer created for me. The media areas layer. And this is where media is basically placed on your in your design. So you can select the size of how big you want the media to be. For this one, first example, I'm going to show you how to put in make the movie a pop-up. So I have my media area here, the content type. I have object type media and some referencing object IDs here, and content type I'll make it a pop-up movie. And then I'll put source type, I'll put file, and then I just go here back to my webinar folder, and I had a video here, and as easy as it it is. Just do a fast review and you can see what happens. And now I have my link here for my movie. Oh, I forgot to mention that when the movie link was created, also a clickable area was created as well to activate the movie. So the user needs to tap this area in order to activate the movie. And I'm also able to choose it to auto start when I select the media area, that the movie will auto start playing when you reach the vertical. But anyway, for this example, it will start by the user clicking link, like that. And as you can see, it starts with a pop-up and the movie starts playing. Oh, it seems like my simulator is slowing down a bit at the moment. Let's see the process here. Oh, try again. I'll go back and actually re-export and see if that helps. It seems like the simulator is a little bit tired. Okay, it's probably something wrong with the movie, but anyway, that's how you put in a movie in the design. Let's see if I can. Did I do a sort of? Let's put in. Make it try with an inline movie instead to see if that helps. There's probably something wrong with this movie. Make it a full screen movie and see if I can show you. Anyway, it's activated by just clicking on this link again, and as you can see, it shows up, and the user can start playing it and change the size of the screen, and they can actually go in here and scroll through the video as it is playing. And that's basically how you put in a movie in your design. You can make change how you want it to be shown and the size of it as well. So now we have this vertical ready, and I want to export it to the production tool in order to review it together with my first vertical that I put in. So what I'll do is I make sure I have the correct device selected, Apple iPad. I go to issue folder and I select the same issue folder that I selected to export to my first vertical to, like that. And I'll put in an ID for this vertical. I'll call it vertical 2. And I'll call it movie and a link. And just for this example, I didn't use the A layer at all. So I can actually select that I don't want to use the A layer for this one. So I can simply click no A layer. I can also select that I don't want to use the B layer as well. So no B layer. And you can also choose that you always want to display both the A and B layer. This means that the user is not able to disable the A layer by double tapping. But for this one, I don't want to use any A layer, as I was only using the B layers, the background layers. And I think I'm ready with this one, so I'll simply click export. It's putting my issue together, my vertical together, and I can go here in production tool and check the process here. My computer seems to be really tired at the moment, so let's hope this all works out. Yes, and I'll go here and just click refresh, And here I have my second vertical that I created. As you can see, I'm able to drag it out from the clipboard, and I can change the location of my vertical. And now I have the selection to review all, or I can select and review selected vertical. So you can go in and check on a specific vertical. But let's just do a review all now. See what happens. Pushing, and here I have my vertical that I selected to be viewed first. It's not very beautiful, but and I also have my second vertical. So now I have this vertical here, and I can also go and go to my second vertical, and when I scroll down and go back to my first vertical. So this is basically how you use the production tool together with InDesign. And you can also select that you don't want to use short press, only long press for menu. So the user won't be able to do a short tap in order to bring up the menu. So they can only use long press, which some people like. When you have a lot of links, it might be good to use the long press for menu, so people don't get annoyed if they think it's a link and the menu is brought up instead. And when you're ready with this, with your issue, and you think you're done, you can create MIB. And this creates a MIB on your computer. And you can send this MIB file to your clients or coworkers, and they can review it on their iPad themselves. Instructions on how to do this are found on our website at support.magplus.com. Let's go here, and you can search for example external review, which means that how to set up external review of a MIB. And here we have a couple of simple ways of how to review a MIB on your iPad very fast and easy. And I also want to recommend, if you want to continue with the magplus tools, that you can go to magplus.com/video, and here you can find a lot of tutorials and some about magplus and so forth. It's really good to look at tutorials, as they will go through all the basics and all the features, and also gives you some tips on what you actually can do. Thank you all for watching, and I hope all of you will have a great time playing around with magplus. And if you have any questions, just go to support.magplus.com, and we have a forum here that you can go in and ask questions, and we have also a lot of articles for you to look at, and we have some tips and tricks and a lot of fun stuff here. And yeah, I hope you're happy with this webinar, and looking forward to see your designs in the future. Good night here from Stockholm, Sweden. I hope you will have a good day wherever you are. Good night.